This is Sheldon Esdale from imlistening.co.nz. In this video you'll find out what is on your rates invoice. So first thing to have a look at, this is my rates invoice here. First one to have a look at is the two kind of valuations here. So the land value is written there, and then the capital value. And the capital value includes the land value plus the cost of your house as well. So those numbers are very important. They'll be used later. So the first thing to notice is that there's two kind of columns here. This green section is charges from Tauranga City Council, and this blue section is from the Bay of Plenty Regional Council. And so let's just have a closer look at each one of these. So Tauranga City Council, what's called the Uniform Annual General Charge. So 1 unit. 1 unit means that there's one self-contained unit or building on my property. Maybe if you had a self-contained granny flat with its own shower and facilities like that, you'd probably have the number 2 here, and then the rate, this is the same for anywhere you live in Tauranga, so $800 there. Next line is the general. So this one kind of adjusts every year. So every year they have a rates review to work out this rate. So the first thing to notice is the units actually matches up with your capital value. So that's the total value of your land and building as well. So that is the number of units, and then the rate is applied to that. This number changes, is reviewed every 3 years. Sorry if I said every year. Every 3 years this number is changed. So the council works out how much money it needs, how many ratepayers we have, and then through a calculation determines this rate here, and it spits out the number. Next charge is the wastewater connected. So again, this is a set charge throughout the city, so $380 there, and that just kind of separates out. These ones are very are kind of lumped together into the same bank account, if you will, but the wastewater connected, they're just providing a little bit more transparency onto what this is getting spent on. If you're wondering what rates are for, so we'll answer this question in a different video, but just as a quick kind of introduction, on the second page it kind of gives you a list here. So it includes local roads, arts and heritage, Bay Court, parks and recreation, libraries, transformation, solid waste, stormwater, that kind of thing. So I have that in another video later. So the next section is the Bay of Plenty Regional Council. So instead of getting 2 different invoices from the 2 councils that look after my property, they kind of pass their charges through to Tauranga City Council and put them all into one big invoice here out to you. So very similar things again. So that the regional general, just the same as this here. This time, interestingly enough, he uses the land value. So this is based on how much land my property is actually using up. So that's how they make this calculation. They have a rate as well. That one's reviewed every 3 years as well. Then this one here, the general uniform annual general charge. So same thing again, it's just based on a calculation. There's one dwelling here and that rate applies. So that money is just kind of combined together to pay for Bay of Plenty Regional Council's services. And probably the last one is the transport rate, and so that's a charge that pays for roads in the region that we have a share in using. You and I, when we go out of town, we're causing wear and tear on those roads, so that's our contribution to that. And also to Tauranga's buses as well. So that means that if you don't use the bus at all in a year, you're still actually paying $62 for the roads and for the buses. So maybe a dollar a week without even using the bus. So you might as well just jump on board. Right. So the other thing to point out is just that these charges all add up to a certain amount, and then that is divided into two payments through the year. So every 6 months you'll chip away at that invoice there. Anything else to show you? So there's just the totals of how much you're contributing to the Bay of Plenty Regional Council, Tauranga City Council there. And this page here has just got a bit of interesting information. One thing doesn't appear on my invoice, but it might appear on yours, is targeted rates. So let's say you lived in the Lakes District near Tauriko, near Pies Pa. You'd have a separate item here because that area has gone beyond the minimum in terms of plants and waterways and that kind of thing, so that requires a little bit of extra contribution from those residents to keeping that maintained, and so you might see an extra item there. And there's a bit of a list on the next page as well, what other targeted rates you might have, special ways that water is pumped into your premises. Main Street, if you're a commercial property, you would see a contribution to either the Mount rate or the Main Street, Tauranga City Centre Main Street rate. So those things kind of contribute to the marketing and the activities in those areas. And there's just a little bit of information on what the Bay of Plenty Regional Council spends their money on as well. There's just another section there that might you find interesting. So yeah, that's about it. I hope that was helpful. Gives you a bit of an introduction onto what's on your rates invoice. My name's Sheldon Lesdale, and you can find out more of my videos on iamlistening.co.nz. Cheers.